In February of 1959, 9 experienced hikers entered the remote Ural Mountains of Russia. They were strong, trained, and prepared for extreme winter conditions. But something happened on that mountain. Days later, rescuers discovered their abandoned campsite. The tent had been cut open from the inside. Footprints in the snow suggested the hikers had fled into the freezing darkness, some without shoes. When their bodies were finally found, the details became even stranger. One hiker had a crushed skull, another had broken ribs. One woman was missing her tongue. To this day, no one can fully explain what happened on that mountain. This is the mystery of the Dyatlov Pass incident. The story begins with a group of university students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. The expedition was led by a 23-year-old engineering student named Igor Dyatlov. The group consisted of 8 men and 2 women. All were experienced hikers and skiers. Their goal was to complete a difficult winter trek across the northern Ural Mountains. It was a challenging journey, but nothing beyond their abilities. They packed carefully, brought supplies, and set out in late January of 1959. At first, everything seemed normal. But as the group moved deeper into the mountains, conditions became harsher. Temperatures dropped below -20 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind howled across the snow-covered slopes. Still, the hikers pushed forward. They were determined to complete their expedition. But they would never return. When the hikers failed to check in on schedule, their families became concerned. Search teams were organized. Days later, rescuers located the group's campsite. What they found was deeply unsettling. The tent had been partially buried in snow, but the most shocking detail was the entrance. The tent had been cut open from the inside. It appeared that the hikers had suddenly fled their shelter. Footprints led away from the tent and down the mountain. Some of the tracks suggested that the hikers had left barefoot. Others wore only socks. In the freezing night, leaving the tent without proper clothing would have been almost certain death. Why would they do this? Over the following weeks, rescuers began discovering the bodies of the hikers. The first 2 were found near the edge of a forest. They had built a small fire beneath a tree. Both were barefoot and wearing only minimal clothing. Their bodies showed signs of severe hypothermia. 3 more hikers were found scattered between the tree and the campsite. It looked as if they had attempted to return to the tent, but they never made it. Months later, when the snow finally melted, the remaining 4 hikers were discovered in a ravine, and their injuries were disturbing. One had a fractured skull. Another had broken ribs so severe that investigators compared the damage to a car crash. One woman, Lyudmila Dubinina, was missing her tongue. There were no signs of a struggle, no evidence of another group, no clear explanation. The strange evidence. The investigation revealed even stranger details. Some of the hikers' clothing contained traces of radiation. Several bodies showed unusual skin discoloration. Witnesses in nearby villages reported seeing strange orange lights in the sky during the same time period. Despite these unsettling clues, the official investigation concluded that the hikers had died due to a compelling natural force. No further explanation was given, and the case was closed. Over the decades, countless theories have attempted to explain what happened. One theory suggests an avalanche. Perhaps the hikers feared their tent would be buried and fled in panic. But investigators later questioned this idea. There was little evidence of a large avalanche. Another theory involves military testing. Some believe the hikers were accidentally exposed to secret weapons experiments. This might explain the radiation traces and lights seen in the sky. Others believe a rare phenomenon called infrasound could have triggered panic and hallucinations. Still more dramatic theories suggest encounters with unknown creatures or unexplained forces. But none of these explanations fully solve the mystery. More than 60 years later, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most disturbing, unsolved mysteries in modern history. 9 experienced hikers entered the mountains. Something forced them to abandon their shelter in the middle of a deadly winter night. Something caused injuries investigators struggled to explain, and whatever happened, it happened fast. The mountain still stands today, silent and frozen. But the question remains, what really happened on Dyatlov Pass? If you enjoy mysterious stories like this one, subscribe to the channel, because the world is full of strange events, unexplained legends, and forgotten mysteries. And we're just getting started.